Right now on the WHAS11 night team, the end of the first 5-0 Tuesday at Churchill Downs.
I was able to talk to friends, made friends, so I had a heck of a good time.
The night team is there as Louisville's day at the track on Derby Week gets moved to Tuesday. So what did race fans think about it? All new reviews ahead. Plus,
there will be no tolerance for blocking of traffic.
Metro Police say their big Derby security push after the Derby will focus on cruising cars on Broadway, no street racing, and no parking. And breaking news tonight, on the run no more. Police in Texas finally catch the man they say killed 5 people in one home after they asked him to quit firing his AR-15 into the air. Right now on the WHAS11 night team. And all new right here tonight, the effort by Churchill Downs to build each single day of Derby Week into a bigger day of racing into tonight after 5-0 Tuesday. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. The track hasn't released attendance numbers for this first-time effort. WHAS 11 night teams Taylor Woods and photojournalist Ian Hardwitt are live right now from Churchill after sampling Louisville's new day at the track. So, Taylor, what were the reviews?
Well, Doug, the reviews were great. So many people I talked to said they had a great time at the track. But here at 4th and Central, weapon detectors are already set up as one way to keep people safe since horse racing came earlier this year with the first ever 5-0 Tuesday.
Go, baby, go.
The first ever 5-0 Tuesday, the new day on Derby Week for the locals. One woman invited her cousin from Utah.
She said, you got to fly out. We'll go to 5-0 Tuesday. And we've had the best time at the races.
A lot of people echoing a great time at the track.
The friendliness of everybody here, you could talk to them. We had fun telling jokes and stuff, having a couple drinks together.
Most of them pleased with the shuttle service and the ease of getting into Churchill Downs.
The security, everything was set up so well, you know, the parking, that was positive for us.
Speaking of security, Louisville Metro Police, along with other state and federal agencies, are doing their best to make carpooling smoother.
Rideshare, drop-off, and pickup will be done at the Cardinal Stadium Bronze Lot, which is just a short distance from Churchill Downs.
This dad even brought his son so he could pick his bet.
He brings me out here. He's the horse guy, and I just ride coattails.
And this 12-year-old is happy to be close to the horses after watching replays and races.
I like seeing them in the paddock area and on the track.
But Bryn will tell you the horse that gets her money is the one with the fanciest name.
I pick horses based on how cute their name is.
Although she and her family are not staying for the Derby.
So we're gonna slip out of town before this place gets too crazy.
LMPD has a plan to reduce traffic jams near Churchill Downs.
So Central Avenue from Floyd to Taylor Boulevard will be restricted starting at 8 a.m. each day.
And in this day of heightened security, police are stressing if you see anything suspicious, say something. And to learn more information or to stay up to date about any updates during Derby Week, text Derby to 67283. Live at Churchill Downs, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
All right, some already activity. You hear the noise there behind Taylor. Thank you, Taylor. Well, security plans extend beyond Churchill Downs. Police said today that they also have plans to keep traffic under control on Broadway, where cruising has caused problems in the past. Louisville Metro Police Assistant Chief Steve Healy said today officers will not tolerate any street racing or drifting, and there will be no parking signs posted all along Broadway.
I highly suggest paying attention to where those are. If you come out of whatever event you may be in and your car is not there, check with the LMPD tow lot to see if it's impounded before you report it stolen. We will be strictly enforcing that because illegal parking has impeded the flow of traffic in years past.
Healy says they have not told businesses when to operate on Friday or Saturday. Now, that all comes after the controversy in 2021 when Kroger in West Louisville closed early because police told them they were putting up barricades. The chief later apologized. There are also no plans to install barricades anywhere like they did in 2021. You can expect to see several road closures around Churchill Downs. The most impacted areas will, of course, be on Central Avenue, Taylor Boulevard, and Southern Parkway, all on the south end. Find a complete list of the 4 dozen plus road closures on our website, WHAS11.com. And don't go to bed just yet. The WHAS 11 night team is ahead with more local news in the next 5 minutes. Locked inside a Louisville daycare after all of the workers went home. A grandmother telling us what it took to get her granddaughter out. Plus the quick-thinking veteran who jumped into action when a Southern Indiana school bus full of students caught fire. But first, here tonight on the night team, the family of LMPD officer Nick Wilt, who was shot in the head as he raced toward the Old National Bank mass shooting, says he's making progress now. In a post on the Metro Police Foundation Facebook page, his family says his lungs are improving enough that he can now move back to U of L Hospital. He was at Jewish Hospital with a lung infection. Officer Wilt is still listed in critical condition, but remains stable. A disturbing allegation tonight against a Louisville daycare. A grandmother telling WHAS 11 News that her granddaughter was left locked inside the facility after everyone left for the day. The incident happened at the Little Angels Enrichment Center on West Broadway near Dixie. WHAS 11's Alexis Jones shares the extraordinary lengths this family went to get the baby out and a long history of failed inspections from the same business.
A nightmare for a Louisville grandmother.
I went ballistic. Screaming, crying, I was out of my mind.
Barbara Martin recalls the crippling moment when 8-month-old Aza Michelle was locked inside of a daycare. Martin says Little Angels of Richmond Center typically closes no earlier than 6. But when she and her family arrived at 5:30 on Friday, the doors were locked and they heard crying inside.
She's just screaming in there in the dark by herself. We heard her screaming, but we just couldn't get to her.
Martin immediately called 911, but before police arrived, she says her children were able to open the back door with tree branches.
They was running through the daycare trying to find her. She was just screaming. And they found her in a playpen on the floor.
Which Martin says an employee told her they forgot to check before leaving early. And to make matters worse, Martin says owner Aaliyah Lee asked her to keep the incident quiet. I spoke to Lee today. She offered her apologies.
I do feel bad and I'm very apologetic for what happened. And nothing like this has ever happened.
However, according to inspection reports on Kentucky's Child Care Center database, the daycare has a history of compliance issues dating back to 2016. Investigations allege school-aged children were left outside of the daycare alone, a substitute with a history of child abuse and neglect cases, and a crash that sent 3 children to the hospital by ambulance. There were also 3 more incidents leading to the investigations in 2016 and 11 in total between 2017 and today.
How many other babies have they done something to that the mothers didn't come and say nothing about?
Right now, the daycare is under a plan of correction to fix the issues within the facility. But Martin stresses when it comes to children, that's not enough.
They need to shut them down because they neglected my baby. Sorry, just don't cut it for me.
In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS 11 on your side.
Martin says there are still some unanswered questions to this case, like why the daycare closed early and why she wasn't notified. New tonight on the night team, a Southern Indiana school bus driver is being called a hero after a fire broke out on the school bus this afternoon. It happened just after 3 today on Bethany Road in Deputy, Indiana. That's just west of Madison. In a news release, the school district says veteran bus driver Jesse Ritzline was able to get everybody off the bus quickly and no one was hurt. A deputy with the Jefferson County, Indiana Sheriff's Office tells us it appears the fire started near the engine and stayed contained to the front of the bus. The cause is still under investigation. Family members of a 17-year-old killed in a crash nearly 2 weeks ago say they want the man charged in his death to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Life for a life! Life for a life!
Community members joined Mohammed Hussein's family for this protest outside the Hall of Justice in Louisville this morning. Police say Ernesto Ocampo was driving drunk on Saturday, April 22nd on Shepherdsville Road when he crashed into 3 cars, killing Mohammed. Officers say Ocampo's blood alcohol level was 4 times the legal limit.
We need justice. We need justice. This is the part of my heart. My son, he's 17 years. We can't stop without justice. We need justice.
Ocampo has pleaded not guilty in the case. During a hearing today, a judge did raise his bond to $500,000. If posted, he would then be put on home incarceration. Metro police officers responding to a call of somebody stripping down a stolen Kia yesterday got more than they bargained for. Take a look at what they discovered on the property on Rogers Road in PRP, at least 6 handguns and 3 rifles. The department says they also found more than $7,500 worth of stolen tools, generators, and trailers. On top of that, officers believe this pile of catalytic converters was also taken from cars. 3 people are now facing charges. And all new tonight on the night team, the votes are in, and tonight we now know the matchups for the 3 mayoral races in southern Indiana. Voters headed to the polls today for Indiana's primary election, which included mostly city offices. In the city of New Albany, the current mayor, Jeff Gahan, beat out Dylan Rash with 79% of the vote in the Democratic primary. He will face Republican Ed Clear, who ran unopposed. In Clark County, Indiana, Jeffersonville Mayor Mike Moore ran unopposed in the Republican primary, going for his 4th term in office with no candidates on the Democratic side. And in Charlestown, Indiana, it'll be current Mayor Treva Hodges facing Republican Ruthie Jackson after they also both ran unopposed. The general election is coming up November 7th.